Have you ever felt it? That quiet whisper, or sometimes a roar, telling you that the roles, the routines, the relationships, the very identity you've carefully stitched together over decades no longer fits? If you're nodding, even just inwardly, welcome. You're not alone. What you're experiencing isn't a crisis, it's an awakening to yourself. Hi, I'm Shabina, and welcome back to Imperfectly Unfolding. We spend so much of our lives accumulating experiences, knowledge, responsibilities. We gather friends, build careers, raise families, often putting our own deepest needs on a back burner, sometimes for decades. But there comes a point, usually in our magnificent middle years and beyond, where something shifts. We start to look at who we've become and who we're expected to be, and we realize, I've outgrown this. It's not a judgment on who you were or anyone else's. It's a profound recognition that your soul is calling for something different, something more aligned with the incredible woman that you are. When we go through healing, sometimes subtle shifts start inside of us. The habits, relationships, and even small talk that once filled our days begin to feel like clothes that no longer fit. But here's the tricky part: outgrowing who you used to be doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, confusing, and often lonely. Because while you can feel yourself changing, the world around you hasn't caught up yet. You might start asking questions you never used to ask. You might crave quiet more than company. And even when you do spend time with friends or acquaintances, you still act like your old self, still laughing, still showing up, but deep down, it feels a little off. Almost like you're watching yourself play a version of who you used to be. You're not being fake, you just haven't found a new way to be yet. And you might find that the people around you don't really understand this new version of you, not because they don't care, but because you're shifting to a different rhythm. For me, this shift became clearer after I delved into the shadows of my past challenges. It took me years to work through the layers, and I discovered a quiet connection to something greater than myself that helped me stay grounded. It was about connecting to an inner peace, a sense of purpose that transcended the everyday noise. A fascinating thing happened. My capacity for superficiality shrank. I found myself craving conversations that truly mattered, deep dives into meaning, purpose, and connection. At the same time, I noticed an almost visceral pull away from surface level chatter, from interactions that felt draining or didn't contribute to my inner landscape. You know the ones, the endless debates on politics or gossip, and the conversations that leave you feeling empty, emptier than when you started. It wasn't about judging those conversations, but simply recognizing they no longer nourished me. It wasn't about judging anyone. It was simply that the more I focused on inner growth, the less space I had for anything that felt artificial or divisive. It felt like a gentle withdrawal, not from people, but from patterns that no longer aligned with where I was heading. What most people don't talk about is that this growth comes with grief. You can be proud of how far you've come and still miss the comfort of who you used to be. There's grief in letting go of old identities, the people pleaser, the fixer, the strong one. There's grief in realizing that you can't go back to who you were before. But grief isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're alive, evolving, and learning to love yourself in a new way. What does this outgrowing mean for you? It means giving yourself permission. Permission to say no to what drains you and yes to what truly nourishes your soul. Permission to redefine your friendships, your hobbies, even your personal goals. It's about recognizing that growth isn't just for our younger years, it's a lifelong, beautiful dance. You have accumulated wisdom, resilience, and a deep understanding of yourself. Now is time to honor that, to curate your life, not based on external expectations, but on your own internal compass, to seek out the meaning, the joy, and the connections that truly light you up unapologetically. Here's the beauty of it all. Every time you outgrow an old version of yourself, you make space for a truer one to emerge. The quiet becomes comforting. Your boundaries become softer yet stronger. And life begins to feel more aligned, even if it's simpler than before. You start to see that becoming who you're meant to be isn't about adding more, it's about releasing what no longer belongs. If you're in that in between space now, feeling disconnected from your old life, but not yet clear about the new one, trust this. You're not lost, you're unfolding. And who you're becoming is so worth waiting for. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share in the comments. What have you recently outgrown? And how are you learning to embrace the new version of you that's emerging? If you're on this journey of healing and of self rediscovery, subscribe for more conversations like this. I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Have an amazing week from my heart to yours. Bye.